What's up, everyone? And today I'm bringing in my deck profile of Digital Bugs. Now, Digital Bugs recently got some new support in form of Registrator, which is very powerful. Very powerful as in it does pretty much everything the archetype does. It's like the entire archetype wrapped up into one card. Unfortunately, it doesn't really save the deck because before Registrators, Digital Bugs was a glass cannon. Like, sure, you could go into Renosbus, then what? Let's say they Raigeki it. Then you got nothing. It doesn't self-recur, it doesn't negate. So it's a lot harder to, well, Registrator makes it a lot easier. So like you can go into this like essentially turn one. So like it makes it a stronger glass cannon in a way. Like sure, Renosbus is still like it needs like a negate monster or something like that, but it definitely does help out this deck a lot. Now before we get into the deck profile, just remind you to vote for which deck you'd like me to do a deck profile on, and you never know, it could win. But you gotta vote in order to see. Without further ado, let's get into the deck profile. First, I run 3 Digital Bug Registrator. Now, Registrator, when you normal a insect monster, you can special summon it from the hand, and you can make both that insect and this one become level 5 or 7. Instant Renosbus. This is easily the card you want, and most you want to open with this. If you don't open with this, path to victory is very, very slim. So, like in this deck profile, like this is going to be a very different deck profile compared to other Digital Bug deck profiles, because others run like rank up. What was it, like Digital Bug Signal? I don't run that. I'm focusing on primarily getting this card out. If I have it in hand and one other Digital Bug, you're golden. Next, I run the 3 Cocoon Denser and the 3 Web Soldier. Now, these are the next strongest Digital Bugs because they can change, say, a card from attack position to defense position, and that's how you trigger the Digital Bug effects. This one's specials from hand, and this one's specials from grave. So, like you normal summon this, change it to defense position, activate effects to special from grave or hand. I also run the 3 Digital Bug Centibit and the 2 LED Bug. Centibit, the one downside to Centibit and LED Bug is that they cannot change themselves to defense position. You have to have one of the others to change it to defense position to trigger their effects, which makes it a lot harder to really go into them. But if you can't go into them, then they're pretty good, because this special summons a Digital Bug from deck, or is it Digital Bug? No, special is 1 level 3 insect. And this one adds 1 from deck to hand. If you're going to make any cuts on this deck anywhere, I'd probably start with these 2. I'd probably work on maybe picking that one out first. But for now, that's the ratio I run. I also run 3 Bow-Offs Twinbo the Attacker. Now, you can't use it for the XYZ of the Digital Bug XYZ monsters, but you can use it for other things, which I will show in the extra deck later, because unfortunately it is a win, but Twinbo can special summon itself from the hand. So it's a free summon of an insect monster. I also run the 1 Inzektor Gigamantis. Now, Gigamantis I run because I also run the Inzektor Link in this deck, and the Inzektor Link, Picofalana, can attach an insect to one insect from your deck to an insect monster you control. Originally I was running Hornet, but considering I'm going first in this deck, I'd have to destroy one of my own cards. So I just opted for Gigamantis instead. For hand traps, I run 3 Ash and 3 Valor. I don't run Nibiru, because Nibiru in this format just isn't that great. Nibiru is more like a combo-oriented format, and right now we're in a control-oriented format, which Ash Blossom's going to do much better in, and affect very little too. Now, moving on to the spells. I actually run one of the new cards out of Blazing Vortex, which I was lucky enough to pull. I run 3 Pot of Prosperity. Yes, I actually pulled it. Make sure to go check out that unboxing, because it's not the only good card I pulled. But this is weird. Whenever I like try to pull something for a profit, I don't get it. But when I'm like just buying packs, just like, I don't know, we open up on the channel just for some content, I end up pulling like expensive cards, which makes unboxing challenges kind of hard. I also run 3 Pot of Desires. Now on Prosperity, I actually say it's better than Extravagance, because Prosperity, while you can only add 1 instead of 2, with Prosperity you can choose what cards you banish from the extra deck. So let's say you want to keep all the Digital Bug monsters, and you can just banish the rest. And being able to choose is obviously more beneficial. That way you don't accidentally like banish. Let's say you run Dragoon. If you run stuff like that, you can still run Prosperity, just don't banish Dragoon. With Extravagance, it's random. And Prosperity is also better because, first off, you don't have to activate it during main phase, at the beginning of main phase. And secondly, you can excavate 6 cards, or 3 or 6 depending on how many you banish, and add 1 card. So you have an option between 6 cards. If you have a deck that just like needs that 1 card, definitely run that. And also run Pot of Desires for more draw power. So honestly, if you get Registarter and 1 Digital Bug, the rest of it really isn't going to matter as much. I also run 3 Magical Mallet. Now, like I said before, I want to see Registarter first, turn. I want to see a second turn. I'm running as many tools so I can see it as soon as possible. Magical Mount like essentially allows you to like restart your hand essentially. Well, it does cost, well, it is a -1. One thing I noticed in my comments is the last time I used this card, which is, I even said in the video, you gotta think about it from a different perspective. Digital Bug without Registrator, it's useless. It's not that great of a deck. Digital Bug with Registrator is good. So you want to see this card first. Otherwise, you're going to struggle. So as long as I can see Registrator first, it doesn't matter if I go -1, because ultimately you're going to end up with a better board regardless. And I also run the 1 card destruction and Upstart Goblin to help me get into that. Next, I run 2 Bug Emergency for the traps. Target, it's kind of like Registrator, not as strong though, but target like 2 insects in the grave, make their levels the same, like a level 5 or 7. It's pretty good, but the one downside is it's like a trap version of Registrator, and that's just a little too slow, but it still comes up in situations from time to time. Moving on to the extra deck, I run the 3 Scaridator, the 2 Corbage, and the 3 Rhinosbus. I'm not really going to be going into Corbage as much. Like with Registrator, you could probably honestly cut these down more because this is the main one you're going to be using. Sometimes Scarabator, but Rhinosbus is the main one. Rhinosbus, during your opponent's turn or your turn, whichever, you can destroy 1 card of the highest defense. So it's a little bit destruction, but still just not that great. It's just a decent card. Although I'd like for Digital Bug to get at least a stronger boss monster. It can be a rank 7, but maybe something that negates, because I feel like negating in Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Is much more powerful. I also run 1 Cicada King. It is a rank 3 XYZ monster. I think I have the copy of it somewhere in my large stack of commons and cards I don't use, which I'm not going to go search through it because that's probably going to take like an hour. And I just want to get this deck out. Also run 1 Dissector Picofalana. This card's really good. So as I said before with the Gigamantis, you can attach it to an insect monster, and you can target 1 insect or 3 insect monsters in your graveyard, shuffle them to the deck, draw 1 card. Is it 3? Yep, target 3 insect monsters in your graveyard, shuffle them into deck to draw 1. It's like a kind of like a weaker Pot of Avarice, but the draw power is good. I also run IP Masquerena package, as well as an Appaloosa. I don't run Access Code because this deck is really hurting for negates, honestly. You kind of need the Appaloosa to like help. And you can like use like Rhinosbus to go be like your heavy hitter if you need to be. That's all for my Digital Bug deck profile. Let me know, what do you think? Do you think Digital Bug's a cool deck? Do you think Registrator is great? Like a really busted card for the deck? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video I make. Bye.